That's why you take a guy out of Hofstra College who didn't get drafted, and now he's on the doorstep of people thinking he's going to be the next Chris Taylor. If he makes $1 billion in the game of baseball, and he could go and be anywhere on the face of the earth at any one given time, he will choose to be at a baseball field, playing baseball, coaching baseball, managing baseball, hitting fungos, throwing batting practice, taking ground balls, whatever that may be. But this guy can't get enough of baseball. He absolutely loves baseball, and for that factor, he's gonna work as hard, if not harder, than anybody else. There's no magic formula to it. There's no secret formula. It's you go to work and you take extra ground balls and you do all of the things that you have to do to gain an advantage on everybody else.
Yeah, certainly one of Dodgers Daily's favorites, and it goes for a very good reason why Austin Gauthier is one of our favorites. You just watch his style of play. He's kind of a little bit of a throwback of a style of player, and I think that has to do with he has a combination of a great eye, but also incredible bat-to-ball skills. And that is reflected by some of his walks and strikeout numbers. You're talking about this past season, combined high A and double A 17.3% walk percentage, which is very much well above any sort of average, as well as a strikeout percentage that is well below average. You're talking about a 14.5% strikeout percentage. That combination in today's game of having more walks and strikeouts is not seen often at all. And you combine that with this past season, he had a level of production that is well beyond the scale of a lot of other players. You're talking about a 151 WRC plus. The cumulative component of that is 37.2 weighted runs above average. He was 51% better than the league average player. And actually, it's funny enough that we're talking about Gator, because I've been doing some research because I wanted to see exactly how rare that is to have a player that has more walks and strikeouts and with a WRC plus of 150 or more. And if you're going back, which on Fangraphs right now, you can really only go back to 2006 gathering minor league data. There have been only 21 players since 2006 in the minor league level who have had more walks and strikeouts, a WRC plus of 150, and 500 plate appearances. Let me repeat that again. There have only been 21 players in minor league baseball since 2006 who fit the criteria that Austin Gauthier has done. Now, let's say that's a lot of plate appearances, even though there have been just under 5,000 seasons of plate appearances with that much. Let's say that you lower that to 400 plate appearances. There have been only 31 players, including Austin Gauthier, to fit 150 WRC plus, more walks than strikeouts, and 400 plate appearances. And that is roughly about 0.3% of minor league players. You're talking about an elite player who showed an elite level of production, which I'm doing a little bit more research right now, seems to be a very good indicator of a big league player. And there have been a lot of all-star quality players with those categories as well. A lot to be excited about looking at the numbers of Austin Gauthier.
And another thing about Austin, this is him at the Great Lakes level, but he did not skip a beat, making it to AA. He is a guy that in 2022 actually hit the ball for a percentage to the opposite field. His opposite field percentage was higher than his pull percentage. As you can see in most of these videos, most of his hits, he uses the middle of the field to the opposite field as well or better than anybody in the game. You can see right there he can run. So I love the way that he stays inside the baseball. He is a bat-to-ball skill guy. He is a contact guy, the exact type of dynamic player that I have been wanting the Dodgers to have, and he has been very, very good at it.
You know, my dad would joke it's all genetics, but, so I had to throw that out there. But it's got to be Matt Wessinger. He's my hitting coach at Hofstra for 4 years. When I was a freshman, it was actually his first year. So he let me fail a little bit, and then I decided to buy into his process and just stick with my strengths, taught me the ins and outs of baseball, hitting, what the pitcher's trying to do, and just how to execute pitches and counts. And I give it all to him, man. Just very blessed that he found his way into my life.
Every single day, Austin Gauthier would take 25, 30 ground balls at shortstop. He'd take 25, 30 ground balls at third base. He'd take 25, 30 ground balls at second base. And that was every day. And it was over 100 for probably 2 months last summer. I could not be more impressed with how hard Austin Gauthier worked, with his work ethic, with his work process. And I'll tell you what, man, it's absolutely paying off.
I think I could definitely produce for a major league team, hopefully Dodgers, and hopefully help a team win, I mean, that's the end goal at the end of the day. Like we talked about earlier, chasing that ring, and just win a World Series. I want to help do that any way I can and produce.
And how about the other day? I put it on my social media. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. Austin Gauthier got a base hit up the middle while Shohei Ohtani. Okay, so Austin Gauthier, undrafted out of Hofstra. Shohei Ohtani, the biggest free agent in the history of the time. You couldn't have more opposite stories right there together on the screen. So Austin Gauthier gets a base hit right as Shohei Ohtani is being interviewed by Kirsten Watson. The entire hit, his base hit up the middle, got exactly 7 seconds, and it was back to Shohei Ohtani. I got a kick out of that. That was so funny because that is just so Austin Gauthier. Overlooked, a guy that had to be an undrafted free agent. And guys, I can't tell you how much you have to beat the odds. If you weren't drafted and the organization that you're playing for does not have anything invested in you, and you're playing alongside guys that sometimes they've invested bonus money in, they have scouts that have their reputations on the line for guys that they signed, it is a massive hill to climb over those guys. It's a gigantic hill to climb. Gauthier is in the middle of climbing it, and it is a lot of fun to watch.